"Sir, I know how to help your daughter walk again," said the dark-skinned beggar boy to the millionaire Gregory. Gregory had passed this alley 100 times before, but never like this. Never with the squeak of wheelchair wheels beside his polished shoes. Never in silence so thick it felt like it could choke him. His 8-year-old daughter, Naomi, sat in a wheelchair, silent. Her legs lay motionless beneath a knitted blue blanket. Her blonde hair fell over her cheeks, her eyes fixed on the pavement. She looked like someone who had stopped believing in miracles. Gregory hadn't, not really, but hope had become a cruel word ever since the accident 2 years ago. Every doctor, therapist, and so-called miracle worker had taken his money and left him with the same answer: permanent spinal damage. She might live a long life, they said kindly, but she would never walk again. His money could move mountains, but not nerves. That's when he heard the voice. "Sir," said the boy again from the alley, "I know how to help her walk." Gregory paused, his hand still gripping Naomi's wheelchair. He turned, expecting a scammer, or worse. Instead, he saw a barefoot boy, no older than Naomi, thin, dark-skinned, wearing a coat far too big for his small frame. His hands were dirty, one eye faintly bruised, but his voice was steady. "What did you say?" Gregory asked. "I can help your daughter," the boy repeated. "My name's Eli. I live behind the train station. I saw you pushing her yesterday. I waited because I knew you'd come again." Gregory narrowed his eyes. "You've been watching us?" "Yes," Eli said calmly, "but not in a weird way. I see lots of people." But she looked sad, like someone who used to run, but her legs forgot. Naomi turned her head slightly. That was more than she had reacted to all week. "I've taken her to the best hospitals," Gregory snapped. "Neurologists, surgeons, even energy healers. There's nothing left to try." "You haven't taken her to my grandma," Eli said. "You're 8. I'll be 9 next month." Gregory nearly laughed. "She doesn't take money," Eli added, "only trust. She never asked people to believe, just to try." Naomi looked up at her father. "Please, can we try?" Gregory hesitated. The words, "no" and "absolutely not," raced through his mind. But so did the sound of Naomi's voice, weeks ago when she whispered, "I hate being like this." He knelt down. "If anything feels wrong, we leave. Got it?" She nodded. Eli smiled and led the way. They followed him beyond the city, through overgrown paths and rusted fences. Naomi winced every time her chair hit a bump. Gregory nearly turned back twice, but Eli kept glancing back with a quiet confidence far beyond his years. They reached the edge of a wooded trail. "This way," Eli said. Gregory sighed. "If anything happens to my daughter." "She'll be fine," Eli replied. "More than fine." At the end of the trail stood a small wooden cabin covered in moss. It looked like it belonged in a fairy tale. An old woman appeared on the porch. Her long silver hair was braided with bits of bark and string. Her eyes, green and ageless, sparkled. "I wondered when you'd bring them," she said. Eli nodded. "He doesn't believe, but she does." Naomi gave a faint smile. The woman knelt beside her. "May I touch your knees, child?" Naomi looked to her father. He hesitated, then nodded. The woman placed her hands gently on Naomi's legs. Her eyes closed. She began to hum, a soft sound, like wind in trees. Naomi shivered. "I felt something," she whispered. Gregory stepped forward. "What? What did you feel?" "A tingling in my toes." The woman opened her eyes. "Her spine is not dead, just frozen, trapped in pain. The body obeys the heart more than the brain." "That's not medical science," Gregory muttered. "No," she said, "but science doesn't hold your daughter's tears at night." She turned to Naomi. "Would you like to try standing?" Naomi nodded. The woman removed the wheelchair and helped her to her feet. Naomi's legs trembled. Gregory lunged forward, afraid, but the woman raised her hand. Naomi moved one foot, then the other. Wobbling like a newborn deer, but standing. Gregory dropped to his knees. Naomi! She turned to him, tears on her cheeks. Daddy, I'm standing. Gregory couldn't breathe. He crawled forward and embraced her, terrified she might fall or vanish. Eli stood quietly in the background. Gregory looked back at him, stunned. Who are you? Eli shrugged. Just a kid who believed someone could be whole again. Gregory reached into his pocket. I'll pay you anything. Name your price. Eli shook his head. I don't need money, just needed someone to listen. As sunlight peeked through the clouds, Naomi took 3 steps toward her father, toward the world she thought she'd lost. She wobbled. Gregory caught her before she fell. I've got you, he whispered. Naomi clung to him. I felt my legs, Dad. I really felt them. You did, sweetheart. You did. The old woman watched silently, her hands folded. There was no fanfare, no applause, just peace. Gregory turned to Eli again, kneeling to meet his eyes. I need to know. How did you know this would work? Eli looked down. I didn't do it. I just remembered. Remembered what? My grandma wasn't a doctor, but she understood people, how they breathe, how they break. She said not all pain lives in bones, some hides in silence. Gregory was speechless. Eli continued. I used to walk funny. My foot was twisted. Kids laughed. My mom left when I was 4. My grandma was all I had. One day she said it was time. She placed her hand on my foot, whispered words I didn't know, and told me to stand. I did. I never fell again. Naomi stared at him. She healed you. She reminded me I wasn't broken. Eli replied. Gregory asked gently, where is she now? Eli lowered his eyes. She passed a year ago. I ran away from the system. They said I was lying, so now I help others, only the ones who ask, who believe. Gregory stood and faced the old woman. Who are you? She smiled. Just someone who listens. He does the rest. But this is more than belief. This is the part of humanity most people forget, she said softly. Healing doesn't always need pills or wires. Sometimes it just needs presence. Gregory looked at Naomi. She was standing again, gripping the wheelchair, testing her balance. Her fingers trembled, but her eyes burned with hope. Come with us, Gregory said to Eli. We have doctors, tutors. I can give you a future. Eli shook his head gently. My place is here. In the corners people forget. That's where pain hides. That's where people like me are needed. And if I want to help you, you already have, Eli said. You listened. Most don't. He pulled a wrinkled, damp card from his coat pocket. Gregory handed him a business card in return. If you ever need anything, food, shelter, school, call this number, day or night. Eli nodded and tucked the card away. Naomi looked at him. Will I see you again? He smiled. If you ever forget how to believe, I'll probably be nearby. She limped forward and hugged him. It was the first time someone had hugged Eli in over a year. He closed his eyes and hugged her back. A week later, Naomi walked, unaided, across her school stage. Still slow, still careful, but walking. Reporters asked, what changed? Naomi smiled. A boy who believed I could. That same morning, across town, Eli sat beside a mute little girl who hadn't spoken since trauma. He didn't ask her story, didn't offer food. He just sat and hummed the same tune his grandmother once did. Because sometimes healing doesn't start with medicine. It starts when someone refuses to leave. If this story moved you, give it a like and hit the subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and inspiring short films. And tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.